Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. Okay, so I thought I was going to just do this little ramble about a bunch of stars, but I really found myself going deeper with Andromeda. So let me get back to a little bit of a slideshow. This is just a, a brief overview of some of the stars that I find very intriguing. Okay, so what do we have here? We have the Aquarius constellation. Look at this dude. Anyway, I'm just going to reiterate that these cards, the images I pulled from, are through a card deck called Urania's Mirror. And it's a card deck that basically has these little stars. Some of them have dots in them. And so, who is Aquarius? Now, it's very interesting when you start really going into more of the star stories. This idea that there's the zodiacal sign of Aquarius, like the 12 signs, right? And Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac, followed by Pisces. So when you look at the star stories or take any classes from Bernadette Brady online, it's interesting because the comment is made that the constellations in the heavens do not correlate directly with the zodiacal signs. So here is Aquarius. So we can look at this constellation, but we could really say it's the water bearer constellation. All right. So we don't get confused about trying to project all of the things that we know about Aquarius onto the constellation. All right. So it's a little bit different, right? Because I was so confused. And some days I'm still confused. But what can we say about the water bearer from the perspective of a constellation or an asterism? Well, first of all, we see it's male energy, and he's carrying a vase or a jug that he's pouring the water out of. Okay, so the symbolism is, and there's other stars that are in this water. And basically, if you follow the water down, it goes right into the mouth of a mother fish, the mother fish of Pisces. Her babies are Pisces, the two little fish, but it's the mother fish that is receiving all this beautiful water from the jug or the urn or the vase that this man is carrying. All right, so she placed a nice little red robe on him, and we see there's stars on his thighs, on his rib cage. The two that I'm here to talk about today are on his shoulders. So the water bearer having stars on your shoulders. Now, with the Orion stars, right? One is a star that's always successful because it's carrying the club, right, on the shoulder, that's carrying the club in the hand. But the other shoulder that's holding the shield is in shadow. So usually stars on shoulders are successful. The shadow that's hitting this star on Orion is basically you'll still be successful, but through the shadow side or through shadow, dark night of the soul work. So again, star stories in the heavens. So what do we have? We have Sadal Malik and Sadal Sud. And please forgive me if I'm saying it incorrectly. Sadal Malik and Sadal Sud. So, what do these two stars up in the heavens say to us? Well, they're both lucky, but one is the lucky one of the king. That's Sadal Malek. Let's see, it's the right shoulder. And we're seeing it's coming in at 3 degrees Pisces, 21 minutes of a magnitude of 2.94. So the right shoulder. Yep. So this one over here next to the jug, probably getting a little bit of a shadow too by holding onto that jug. All right. So you're the lucky one of the king. Lucky you. This guy looks rather Jupiterian, right? Rather kingly with his olive, is it laurel leaves in his crown. So a lucky one. That's a good position. I'll take it. It's Alpha Aquarius. All right. So I guess I was wrong. This is a brighter star than this other one because this is Beta Aquarius. But guess what? The Beta star, Sadal Sud, is actually luckiest of the lucky ones. So, and a star of mighty destiny. Okay, of the two, I'll take Sadal Sud. Interesting. It's got, so even though the magnitude is a stronger star here, I think there's something about the jug and carrying a jug on the shoulder that gets compromised. Whereas this other star of the mighty destiny, Sadal Sud, he's got in his arm like looks like a stick or something. The graphic doesn't show me exactly what he's got, but it sounds more like, oh, I'm an authority. I'm carrying something here, so I'm a little constricted on this shoulder, but this shoulder, yeah. So if you're lucky enough to have on the left shoulder of the god, Sadal Sud, star of mighty destiny. Interesting. Would be fun to see if this star, 23 degrees Aquarius, 24 minutes, take a peek and see if you have a planet, one of the angular points, or a nodal north or south node on 23 degrees Aquarius, 24 minutes. If it shows up in your natal chart, how is it that you've been the luckiest of the lucky? So not only are you lucky when you get Sadal Malik, but you get even luckier when you have this beautiful star in your star soul connections. All right, so now I'm going to go to the next one. We're on A. So we did Andromeda, Aquarius, and now Aquila. So Aquila constellation. The whole constellation is the eagle, and Altair is a fixed star in the eagle, right? You could see it's almost like, it looks like it's at its manifestation, its throat area. It would be different if you had a star at Deneb at the tail. There's a star at one of the talons. There's stars in the wings. But this one, Altair, which is showing up at 2 degrees Aquarius, 7 minutes. Magnitude of 0.77. Very bright star. So what does it mean to be an Aquila star seed? Well, think what the eagle does. It flies high to get a bigger perspective. When I see Altair, this star, show up in a reading for someone, I look and wonder, okay, what type of leadership role are they playing? If you have a trine to Altair, especially, there's a natural gift for leadership. When someone asks, who will guide the team? Everyone steps back and you're the one that steps forward, natural born leader. And you're here to inspire clarity. So when you have the darkest of nights, the eagle can go and fly above to see broadly what is the greater landscape of what's happening now in the collective. Let's see, what else do we have? Natural born leaders, action oriented, brave and courageous, and insatiable thirst for knowledge. So here's a cool thing. When you look in the heavens, oftentimes the mythology or the star stories is Jupiter sees someone beautiful, puts them up in the heavens. Jupiter sees an animal. Okay, so this is, Pegasus is Jupiter's horse. Well, Aquila is Jupiter's eagle. It's like if he's going to own all the heavenly realms as the king, might as well put animals and other things up in the heavens. This looks like a spear that's going right next to the eagle. That's probably Jupiter's spear too, right? So it's kind of interesting. What does Bernadette Brady say about Altair, other than it's the brightest star in the constellation? Boldness and determination. Again, if you have Altair in a conjunct position, it's like you have family, star family in that Aquila constellation. We could call you an Aquila starseed. But if you have a trine, yeah, that's a beautiful gift to be received for this lifetime. Yeah. Looking ahead. How do we get out of the muck and the mire? How do we have a bigger perspective? Jupiter's eagle. All right, since we're still on A, here's Aries constellation with the fixed star Hamal. Yep. So here again, Aries from a zodiacal sign position in the heavens, it has all this metaphor. And the problem is with the way that the stars and the heavens and the earth are moving, a lot of times we might be born, let's say, as an Aries sun. But when we're studying the stars on Aries, things have kind of shifted up there. So it is still the ram. So I know it's really kind of confusing. The constellation is not necessarily ascribed to the same definition of the zodiacal sign. So in the zodiac, Aries is like headbutting, me first, pioneer, leader, let's go. No one's holding me back, really CEO level. Okay, the beginning of spring, let's do this. In the constellation of the ram, all right, so this is how I'm differentiating it. The constellation of the ram, the fixed star named Hamal is the brightest star. And it sits basically at the head or the crown where all that budding happens, right? And Bernadette Brady says, Alpha Aries is about following one's own path. So if you have this at 8 degrees of Taurus, 1 minute, go check it out. See if you have this star to help guide you, to remind you, oh, that's not your path. That's certainly not your path. Or that was your path, but then you remember you came to the Y in the road and you chose this other path. So if you're confused, call in Hamal. Sit with this idea of, okay, am I on the right path? Is this the highest and best for me and for the collective? Assuming it's the same path for both questions. Yeah, 8 degrees Taurus, 1 minute. So yeah, we still have to do some math and we still have to look, okay, there's the stars, there's the constellation, here's the zodiac. So it's just see how it's kind of moving parts. Anyway, I don't mean to confuse you, but we'll call it the constellation of the ram has a beautiful fixed star named Hamal. Go check out and see if you have 8 degrees Taurus somewhere in your natal chart. All right, who wants to be next? We're still on A. So here's a little slide I did of Auriga constellation with the fixed star Capella. Now, look at Auriga. Here's this guy. So we know he's male. A lot of men up in the heavens. There's very few female, just so you know. We've got Virgo and, who was Estrella, and my mind goes a little blank on a constellation that is female. Oh, we have the Queen constellation. But, not too many women up there. Those were the days, right? Let's say 2,000 or 3,000 years ago. So Auriga, look at this nice card from, again, Urania's mirror. The Charioteer. Well, guess what? This guy is holding a beautiful she-goat. And the she-goat holds a star named Capella. Now, the story of Capella is this is the she-goat that nursed Zeus or Jupiter, right? Zeus was nursed by a nanny goat because his father wanted to kill him. His mother saved him, and the goat gave him milk so he could survive. So if you have Capella, the she-goat, the little she-goat, sitting on the lap of the charioteer, right? Alpha Auriga, the need for independence, great fortune, the horn of plenty. This is according to Bernadette Brady. I'm going to say like abundance. For me, it's the cornucopia. It's at Thanksgiving when the harvest comes in. If you have this 22 Gemini, 13 minutes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. I have 22 Gemini at my midheaven. Oh, yeah, I can connect with this star. The midheaven sits at the very top of your chart, right? And there's a very specific point up here. And so my midheaven's exactly at 22 Gemini. So what does it mean? Well, one interpretation is, yeah, the charioteer is the freedom fighters. So this whole advent of beyond just being able to do battle on a horse, the charioteer or that whole technology of a chariot changed the whole war strategy and the playing field for how battles were won or lost. So that's about the constellation. But if you have this fixed star specifically, because you can see, look how many stars are in Auriga. He's got something on his turban. He's got something on the actual chariot harness. He's got things on his boots and other parts of his body. But if you've got the she goat, Capella, she's the one that sits at 22 Gemini. So I guess I could think about my crown chakra having a little billy goat, a she goat, bringing in and nursing with the milk to nourish the god or the goddess, and have this idea of abundance, and good fortune. Oh, wait a minute, there's a little more. And some of this other language I'm receiving by being a student and a practitioner now through Julia Balaz. So some of the language is a combination of what I picked up over here with Bernadette, what I've picked up from Lyssa Royal Holt, what I've read on Astrology King. But it's interesting to then look through the lens of what Julia, through her research, has found. And so for her, she's saying interdimensional travelers. Ooh, scientifically inclined. Ooh, rebellious. Well, obviously, connected to Atlantis and the Mayan civilization. Interesting, right? Atlantis and Mayan. Now, for me, I just love that Mayan card deck. I love this idea of the Mayan time and the Mayan wheel and finding what is my Mayan archetype. I think I'm the white mirror, the rhythmic white mirror. So I'm here to basically be the mirror on the wall. Anyway, it's interesting. Well, I think that's enough stars for now. I'll come back again and maybe keep going through my A list till we get to the B's. But go ahead and take a peek. Do you have anything around 22 Gemini, 13 minutes? And the orb of range is probably, I would put like 1 or 2 degrees. I mean, these fixed stars are amazing. They don't move too much. There is a little bit of movement, but if you have Capella like I do, I should probably paint a picture of me with a nanny goat nursing with her milk, basically, maybe that would be good for my hair, or my crown, or to help me with interdimensional travel if I choose it. A lot of times I just like to get a good night's sleep. I know I'm going places and having these very strange dreams, but wherever the light is needed, that's typically from my heart, where I'd like to go for as a gift of service. Okay, that's about all I got today. Here, let me stop sharing. So I think of everything I shared today. I fix the hair. This idea of, the constellations and the zodiacal signs, 12 signs, Aries, Taurus, and then you go around the wheel. Okay. But when you see them in the heavens, the path of the sun, the ecliptic, does make, does touch these zodiacal sign, or, touch these places up in the heavens. It's just there's a shift in movement. And so that's why Bernadette Brady, who's very much a scholar, she just says, to get everyone out of confusion, we should just say, oh, there's the man who holds the water for everybody, like the water bearer. Don't call it Aquarius because it's too confusing with the sign, the zodiacal sign that, moves us towards the seasons with the sun. I hope I haven't confused anybody too much, but what you do is just go look for those natal points in your astrology. Get that moment of birth. Another great FYI place to do a calculator and look at your fixed stars is a place called astro-seek.com. Also, astro.com or Astrodienst. If this is all new to you, I'll put somewhere here a little bit of information about those 3 links. I know we have to be careful where we're placing our birth information, but if you feel like a site is secure and you want to put in your alias name, great. But otherwise, you have to go back and do the math yourself and figure out all the coordinates. And frankly, I kind of just already know my coordinates. So it's like, okay, I took the risk, I did the calculators, and here we are up in the heavens. All right. Well, I'm going to go wash my hair, put a little milk, milk of the she goat, maybe get some milk. What is it? Goat cheese. Is it called chèvre? Anyway, I love goat cheese. So I have to put a little bit of milk on my head to remind me of the abundance that my astrological natal chart already gave me. I just have to get out of my way, go have that nice shower. Okay, I ramble. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time on the Ascension Playground. Bye for now.